Picture this. It's a quiet night in 1957. The stars are twinkling, the suburbs are sleeping, and I'm wrapped in a cozy blanket with a steaming cup of tea, peeking through a telescope and whispering, "Wow, the universe is just so peaceful tonight." Then, out of nowhere, nope, that's not the sound of my microwave. It's Sputnik, a real-life satellite launched by the Soviet Union, just zipping through the sky like it owns the place. My tea spilled, my nerves frazzled. My first thought, someone get me the president on the rotary phone right now. We got a red menace in orbit. And just like that, America's quiet confidence turned into full-blown space panic. Buckle up, y'all. We're about to blast off into one of the Cold War's most high-stakes drama, the space race. The year was 1957, and the Soviets had just thrown down the ultimate challenge. Sputnik wasn't fancy. It was a metal ball with 4 antennas and a creepy little radio signal that went beep, 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 but honey, it was terrifying. Why? Because it meant the Soviets had rocket power. Enough rocket power to send things into space, and maybe send other things to the US. Like nuclear missiles. Suddenly, the Cold War wasn't just about spies and speeches. It was about space domination, and Americans were not ready. So, what did the US government do after completely freaking out? It decided our best weapon was education. In 1958, Congress passed the National Defense Education Act because clearly little Timmy needed more algebra. Schools across the country started ramping up science, math, engineering, and foreign language classes. The goal? To train the next generation of rocket scientists, code breakers, and brainiacs who could outsmart the Soviets. Teachers were like, "Okay, class, today we're doing calculus for freedom." And honestly, it worked. American classrooms got serious. But this wasn't just about rockets. It was a battle of ideologies. The Soviet Union was officially atheist, and that made U.S. leaders nervous. So in 1956, Congress adopted "In God We Trust" as the official national motto. It was a subtle but powerful message. We believe in God, they believe in government. It became a staple on coins, paper money, even the pledge during the Cold War. But brainpower and mottos weren't enough. We needed rockets. So in 1958, the same year as that Education Act, the U.S. launched a brand new agency, NASA. That's the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and it was basically like, "Hi, we'll be handling all future space-related flexing from here on out." NASA's job? Get us to space, and get us there before the Soviets planted a red flag on the moon. Rocket scientists, engineers, and astronauts became celebrities, and space became the ultimate battlefield for Cold War bragging rights. By the late 1960s, the competition was fierce. The Soviets had gotten the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin, rude. But the U.S. wasn't giving up. Then came the drama of Apollo 11. July 20th, 1969. The whole world held its breath as Neil Armstrong stepped out onto the moon and said, "That's one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind." Boom. Mic drop. The United States had officially won the space race. And best believe we put a flag on that moon so fast. But y'all, here's the tea. The space race wasn't just about technology. It was also about image. The US and USSR were both trying to look smarter, stronger, and more futuristic. Everything was for show. Launches were broadcast on TV. Textbooks were rewritten. Even cereal boxes had astronauts on them. It was Cold War propaganda with rocket boosters. NASA became a symbol for freedom, democracy, and American excellence. Like, "Hey world, see how amazing we are? Look at our science. Look at our astronaut. Look at our moon." Want to hear something wild? A lot of the tech created for NASA ended up changing everyday life on Earth. Like, we're talking about cordless power tools, memory foam, satellite TV, free-dried food, hello Tang, and fire-resistant materials. Cold War defense spending wasn't just about missiles. It launched a whole wave of consumer innovations. So, next time you zap a burrito in the microwave, think the space race. So, let's review that timeline of what happened out there in orbit. Sputnik shocked the Americans into full-on panic. Education got an upgrade thanks to the NDEA. NASA was born to lead the U.S. in the space age. The moon landing gave us bragging rights for life, and our motto got a Cold War glow-up, in God we trust. And the whole thing, one big Cold War competition wrapped up in a patriotic bow. The space race wasn't just rocket and stars. It was about power, pride, and who could show off harder on a global stage. And you better believe that tea was out of this world. If you love this episode of Miss F Spills the Tea, hit that subscribe button like it's the launch button on Apollo 11. Leave a comment with your favorite space fact or Cold War drama moment, and stay tuned for more tea on civil rights, culture shifts, and Cold War chaos. Until next time, keep your eye on the stars and your teacups full. Signing off. Bye.